Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm here today to share with you my June TBR. And I've decided for the next 3 months to kind of sub-name my TBRs under the Summer of Joy. That might seem kind of silly or whatever other adjective you want to put in there, but I've noticed that the last few summers I have worked through them and not really stopped to enjoy the summer for what I want to get out of it. And so I wanted to emphasize this in every part of my life that I possibly can for myself this summer, to differentiate the 3 months of summer from the other months of the year. And so I've decided to call my TBRs for June, July, and August Summer of Joy TBRs. So I decided not to sign up for judging the BookTube prize. If you're not familiar with what the BookTube prize is, I will leave a link to the channel down below. I did do round 2. I'm not going to do round 3. I read a lot of nonfiction, as you will see in my vlogs that I made. So I'm gonna leave it at that for this round, and then I'll probably read for round 4. So what am I going to read to inspire all this joy, you say? Well, this particular TBR, I still do have some reading that I'm doing for other purposes, but I'm gonna start off with my 3 novels that I've picked to read in the month of June. And one of these is got another kind of secret TBR thing going on, which will all be revealed in time. But I'm reading The Gown, a novel of the royal wedding by Jennifer Robson. So Jennifer Robson is a pretty well-known historical fiction writer. I really enjoy her novels. She has a great style of writing, very mature and on the lighter side way of looking at things. I read her Great War series, which was 3 books, and I really enjoyed them, and I haven't read any more of her work since. And so this one was recommended to me, and I'm going to check it out. This is about a fictional account of 2 of the women who embroidered the Queen Elizabeth's wedding gown. And so I think this will be really entertaining for me, obviously being someone who works in textile, to see the perspective of an embroiderer as they are making a very special dress. So that's book number 1. For my Reading Across Canada Challenge, I am reading Rue by Kim Thuy and translated from the French by Sheila Fischman. This is a book that I've had on my TBR for a very long time, and I'm very excited to finally get to it. Kim Thuy won. This was actually the Canada Reads winner in 2015, and it's about the experience of coming to Canada from Vietnam via Malaysia, I believe, and the immigrant experience, changing to Quebec life, specifically settling in Quebec. So I thought it would be really great to look at Quebec through different eyes. I was born and raised in Quebec myself, and so I didn't just want to read a perspective of Quebec that would be familiar or similar to my own. I wanted to really push that on its head a little bit. And so I think reading from Kim Thuy, who herself immigrated to Quebec from Vietnam, and this is a fictionalized account, but I think a lot of it is based on obviously her own experience, will be a really great way to re-examine this province for myself. So Rue. And the other novel that I am listening to on audio is The Ashes of London by Andrew Taylor. So this has been on my radar for a very long time as well. I was secondhand book shopping with my parents years ago and saw this book on the shelf, and I loved the cover. This was definitely a cover attraction for me, and I'm not usually pulled in by covers of books, actually. So this image just was really compelling to me. And so this, I believe, is a mystery, historical fiction mystery. I think that's the genre, and it's actually a series. So I think there's at least 4 books in this series. So I'm trying it out on audio, and I'm going to see if I like it, and if I like the series, I'm going to keep reading. It follows 2 main characters, one who is kind of a disgraced former printer in 1666 London, or if that's the year, not the year of the London fire, I can't remember, but in the year of the London fire. And another woman character as well, Kat, and how they try to solve a mystery of a body that is found in St. Paul's Cathedral, which collapsed in the Great Fire. So that is the plot. I'm hoping to really enjoy it and want to continue in the series. Okay, for my nonfiction for June, I am reading Reimagining Capitalism in a World on Fire by Rebecca Henderson. This is a read for the Thrive Together Network Book Club, which I host, and we are actually even going to have a Zoom discussion about the book, but also just related to being artists in under capitalism as well. So this was actually a suggestion from one of the other members of the book club. This wasn't one that I chose myself, but I'm hoping to really enjoy this and learn a little bit about how Rebecca Henderson sees capitalism being reimagined to be a more environmentally and hopefully human-friendly economic system. Okay, so the other 2 books I'm going to be reading are related to my artwork again. So May was kind of a place where I took a break from making art because I was working on getting my show, my online show put on, and I will put a link to that down below if you'd like to go check it out. It was a lot of work, but it was worth it. And so now I'm getting back to I'm starting 2 new art pieces. The first one is about the St. Francis River, which is the river that runs through the little town that I grew up in Quebec. And so I'm going to be reading Richmond Now and Then, an Anecdotal History by Nick Fonda. So I'm going to just scan through this. I don't know if I'm going to read it cover to cover. Nick Fonda is a local author to the town that I grew up in. And I wanted to read this just to kind of give myself a little bit of history about the town I grew up in, but also just to give me a sense of being there as I'm working on this piece about the place. So I actually grew up on the other side of the river. Richmond is on one side of the river, Heilbrun is on the other side of the river, and I grew up even further away from the river in the countryside. But every day when I went to school or when we went to town or when we did anything, we crossed the river. So the river is very much part of my life growing up and part of my environment and everything that I remember surrounding me. So excited to read this and see what these little anecdotes are all about. And then the other book that I'm going to be rereading is Writing a Woman's Life by Carolyn G. Heilbrun. So I read this in 2021, I believe. And while I was reading this, I was inspired to make a specific art piece, and I am now going to make that art piece. And so I wanted to reread this book to kind of reconnect with the feelings that I had when I was reading it. I have underlined the exact passage that is inspiring the piece, but I just want to reread it because I want to make sure that there's nothing else that I want to pull out of it that will kind of inspire and enhance the experience of making the piece. And this is my second reread of 2023. I'm actually very proud of this because I usually don't do rereads very much, even though I think that there's value to them. So I'm excited that I'm actually gonna do this and reread it. All right, so that is my TBR for June. It's highly unlikely to me that there will be a possibility I will read more books than this. If there are, they will be in my wrap-up. But otherwise, that is my plan for the month. And it's my summer of joy, so it's totally possible that there might be some vlogs about that I might incorporate that into my reading wrap-up somehow. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to manifest in my videos, but I'm really trying to emphasize joy for the next quarter, which technically doesn't start until the end of June, but I'm just kind of bringing it into this last month of quarter 2 because I need it. I need some joy, and I hope that you all find some joy this summer, and I will be back again soon with another video. Thank you so much for watching.